What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about, could the Golden State Warriors be the biggest threat to the Lakers in the Western Conference next year? So let's see what they have to say about that.
Which team do you think is actually going to be the biggest challenge for the Lakers repeating?
Probably the Golden State Warriors or the Clippers.
I think it's probably this upcoming season going to be the Warriors. And I don't mean the Warriors as presently constructed. I expect there to be some changes. Let's assume that Steph and Klay return as most of what they are. I think it's unreasonable when a guy's coming off a catastrophic injury to say he's going to hit the ground running exactly the same as he's ever been. But if they're even more...
Yeah, but they've had over a year and a half to heal up and get better. So that should be okay when they come back.
Most of what they are, that is a great backcourt, an MVP caliber player, and the best pure shooter maybe ever who can also do other things in Klay, right? Like, the opponent wants Klay putting the ball on the floor and making decisions because that's not his strength. But he can do that better than most guys who can shoot like him, and clearly he can defend. That's those two. Draymond Green, now they don't have Iguodala anymore. And obviously KD's gone. But they do have Wiggins, who is a better defensive player with them than he had been in the past. And Pascal, who is a promising young player, and lots of draft capital. I expect the Warriors to make a move, and I think it'll be a big one. That's what the front office has done, to bring in a major piece to supplement what they already have. Let's not forget, the reason primarily in recent years LeBron was criticized for winning in the East was not just that the West had more good teams, but the West had the Warriors. They didn't have the Warriors this season. Here they come again, and I think they will represent the biggest obstacle.
Yeah.
So I can agree with that. I also think the Clippers are going to be right up there giving competition to the Lakers. So when all these boys come back, it's going to be a heck of a show. So let's take a quick look at the stats before they all broke up and everybody started getting hurt. So this is the 2019 stats. So Steph Curry, his stats are, he averaged 20.8 points a game. That's fifth overall at that time period in the NBA. He averaged 5.2 rebounds, 6.6 assists, and his PER was 21.79. Draymond Green, he averaged 8 points a game, 6.9 assists. That's 13th overall for players. And he averaged 6.2 rebounds a game. Klay Thompson averaged 21.5 points a game. That's 18th overall for players. He averaged 3.8 rebounds and 24 assists. So needless to say, if those guys get back on the same page again, and I also heard that there might be a chance that Giannis Antetokounmpo might be thinking about looking at coming to the Golden State Warriors. It's all hearsay, so I don't know how true it is. But if he does that, those boys will definitely be giving the Lakers and the rest of the league a lot of competition. So let's continue.
We'll see what the Warriors can do, but that's like a lot of what ifs. Like maybe they're going to be able to compile their draft capital to get a trade or pick up somebody to add to make to pair next to Steph, because I think we'd all agree that Klay and Steph are not the same as LeBron and AD. I think you can look over to the Eastern Conference and assuming we're all assuming things about injuries and whatnot, assuming that Durant comes back close to what he was, I think we can't overlook how impressive the Nets are going to be next year. And assuming that Steve Nash is going to be able to coach that team, which we've seen first-time coaches come in and be able to figure it out pretty quickly. Everything I've heard about Steve Nash, he's a pretty smart guy, and obviously the team like and respect him. And then you got Kyrie. I know he is on the outs with a lot of people because of some of his words off the court and some of his antics in the locker room, but the man can ball, and KD is extremely versatile. We don't take into account how good he is on defense because of how unstoppable almost he is on offense. So I think that team is pretty good, and we haven't even gotten to Dinwiddie and LeVert, and if you want to go big, they got Jared Allen to protect the rim. Like, this team is pretty loaded, and assuming Steve Nash can figure out how to coach them, they can make it through the East and showdown against LeBron, because in the A block, I think it was a B block, Max, you said guys with 2 top 10 players are going to be in the finals and win that. I think the Nets have that.
Top 5, yeah.
Yeah, well, the Golden State Warriors will have that too between Klay and Steph Curry. So I also forgot to add that in the 2018-2019 season, for three-point shots, Steph Curry was number 1. He averaged 5.1 three-point shots a game, and Klay Thompson was 8th overall with 3.1 three-point attempts a game. And these guys are just, I can't imagine that they would fall off that much, They've had almost a year and a half by the time the season starts again to heal up and be good to go and to get back in their rhythm. And I can't see them falling off too far. If they get Giannis Antetokounmpo or somebody else of that nature, oh man, the Golden State Warriors are going to be right back where they were before everybody started getting hurt. So let's continue.
They have 2 top 10. Maybe.
Well, Dominique, I hate to say it, but I got to agree with Max on this one. And I'm going with the Golden State Warriors. Those 2 light-skinned brothers down there in the Bay Area, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Steph Curry, with all this rest, he's going to come back and tear the league up. When you look at this guy, you're talking about a generational talent that changed the game of basketball, and a guy that don't rely on his athleticism, that could play at this level for at least the next 10 years. When you look at Klay Thompson, yes, I know he had an ACL injury, but that's not going to stop him. He had more than enough time to recover, get healthy. He took the full season off for a reason, and now.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut off Perkins, but that is true about Klay Thompson. His ACL shouldn't bother him that much because his game's not about explosive dunking all over the place. He's a sniper out there, so it's not like he's using a lot of pressure to slam on his knees to get up to get the dunk and a lot of power. I know he has to jump to obviously shoot the ball, but it's not like somebody whose bread and butter is down there in the paint and relies on nothing but explosiveness. So I hope I said that makes sense.
He's rested. He's going to come back, and we know what type of sniper he is. When you look at Draymond is now going to be able to be that guy that's that 4th option, 3rd option, that defensive player of the year, that versatile defender that could switch 1 through 5 pick and rolls, that could be the facilitator on the other end, which he's a hell of a passer, and he's going to anchor that defense. Draymond Green is the heart and soul of that team. And then you add Andrew Wiggins, a guy that's a Harrison Barnes 2.0 in my opinion, a guy that have a career average of 21 points a game, and now he don't have to be the number 1 pick anymore. He has so much pressure of living up to the hype of being a number 1 pick. He don't have to do that on the Golden State Warriors. Now he could be that 3rd option guy where he could go out there and put up 18 or 19 a game, and that's just enough to get them over the hump. Defensively, he's going to buy in because now he have leadership. He have that mentorship. He have a guy like Mike Brown and Ron Adams who are on the bench as those defensive coaches that's going to take him under his wing. And then and Max harped on this. Pascal is a guy that is a rising star, I believe, in my eyes in this league that could come in and give him production. And on top of that, they have a guy that nobody give credit to, and that's Looney. Looney is an underrated big in this league that I think is battle-tested. He could do it on both ends of the floor. He brings what that Golden State Warriors team need to the table for as a big, a guy that runs the floor, could switch 1 through 5. He complements Draymond Green very well in that 4-5 tandem. So I'm looking at this Golden State Warriors, and I'm going with the Splash Brothers, Draymond Green and Steve Kerr, to be the biggest threat to the Los Angeles Lakers next year.
All right, Perk.
Yeah, so I can definitely go with Perkins on that. Those Golden State Warriors are going to be nasty. If they can come back and continue on from when they all were playing with each other, and if they pick up somebody, if I want to know who they're going to pick up, that's going to be one of the game changer right there. Like I said, if they can pick up Giannis, it's going to be a wrap because they're going to be able to shoot from anywhere on that court. Giannis taking care of business in the paint, and then the Splash Brothers outside the arc. Oh, man, it's going to be crazy.
You normally come in hot and you normally got a lot of enthusiasm and you are shutting everybody down, but I knew you was wrong when you said the first words that came out your mouth was, I agree with Max. I know that didn't feel good coming out. I know you was uncomfortable saying, I agree with Max, and I know when you said it, you had to question yourself because it's real hard. I understand all the points you guys make about the Warriors. However, you both are predicating this on the idea that they are going to make some sort of move. Nobody here, I don't believe, thinks that the Warriors are a championship team as currently constructed. I think that is true of the Nets.
Why wouldn't they be, though? I mean, they have two All-Stars in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, even though they screwed over Klay Thompson, what was it, not last year, but the year before that, with the, what was it, All-NBA team or whatever. He didn't even make, like, All-NBA third team or whatever it was. So he's going to be mad about that. Plus, he's going to come back. He has something to prove. So I would easily say that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are definitely two All-Stars on that team, All-Stars in the league. So let's continue.
So you think the Warriors right now, as they're constructed, without making any moves, can win the title?
All right.
Yeah,
Hold on.
They can get pretty darn close to it.
Hold on 1 second.
They have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and then they added Andrew Wiggins. That's
right.
4 guys that I believe is a great core guys with a couple